he really stood out for the steadfast, committed, and totalizing view of reality. Specifically, the world undergoing turmoil because of basic class inequality. Lazaro Francisco, I don't think I met him personally, but he was an important figure when I took up nobelang Tagalog with Dr. Lumbera here in Ateneo. And sometimes Dr. Mona Hailey from UP will be our guest and give talks on the Tagalog novel. One thing about Mona Hailey, which must be acknowledged here, she's half American. She specialized in Shakespeare, and yet she came to love the Tagalog novel. As a matter of fact, she wrote some of the most beautiful translations of the novels of Lazaro Francisco. So I read his works, maganda pang daigdig, and Daluyong, and Ama, and in the class of Dr. Lumbera, I realized how significant Lazaro Francisco is in terms of his contributions to the Tagalog novel. As a matter of fact, I think he is one of the most successful and the most creative exponents of social realism. His works are all about large chunks of society undergoing conflicts, confusion, struggles of dynamic socio-political forces. All of them, with no exception, dealt with society at large. He embodied for me what Lukács considers totality, because his craft was such that he did not focus on the little world of lovers being tossed about in the sea of love. There is always an element of love in his novels, but always the focus is on the actual historical forces that produce these kinds of individuals clashing with one another, signifying dominant forces in society. And he did it when he talked about the agrarian unrest in the 1920s in his Ama, which used a Job-like character. And he also did it in his Maganda Pang Daigdig and in his last novel, Daluyong, which depicted a very ugly picture of the insidious effects of the tenancy problem in Nueva Ecija. I just want to add that Lazaro Francisco was himself a pastor of a Protestant church. So there's something biblical about the way he constructs characters. You could almost imagine the prophets talking through the main characters in his novels.
Nasa palad natin ngayon ang binhi ng isang mahalagang layon na maaaring mabansot sa bawat pagkakabiso. Bakit tayo susuong sa isang pakikilabang bukod sa hindi kailangan maaaring ilasan? Hindi tinutulutan ng maingat na maghahalaman na mabuntalag sa unos o sikat ng araw ang punla ng isang pananim na hindi pa lubusang nakapag-uugat sa kinatatam ng lupa. Tagumpay at pag-unlad ng puhunang Pilipino ang minimithi natin at hindi ang makasugat lamang o makasakit sa sinumang dayuhan. Tipirin natin ang ating lakas at tumalaga tayo sa isang masaklaw na pagkilos bukas makalawa.
When the Ateneo had its Sanglaw ng Lahi Award, I remember I was asked to write the article on Lazaro Francisco. And I remember his sons and his children were there, I think, to accept the award. I'm not sure if he was still alive at that time. He is a national artist and he deserves to be one, because I think among the many novelists who wrote hundreds of Tagalog novels, and that was my dissertation at UP, ang nobelang Tagalog, he really stood out for the steadfast, committed, and totalizing view of reality. Specifically, the world undergoing turmoil because of basic class inequality.